Good afternoon, everyone. Really excited to come to you today with another toy review. This is an item that I was not expecting to find. As a matter of fact, I've looked at a couple different area Walmarts. Um, Generally speaking, I'll travel in about a 40-mile radius here and there, looking in different stores for particular things. And um, this is just one of those items that I could not find anywhere except on eBay, as well as some of the trade sites for Star Wars on Facebook. I had contacted an individual who had it and didn't get a response. Made an offer on one on eBay. The buyer turned the offer down. I just wasn't satisfied with the price point. So yesterday, I went into an area Walmart about 13 miles from here, and lo and behold, there it was. Only one of them in the box, and it was at a reasonable price point. And I was just like ecstatic because it was only $30, and I've seen it on eBay for as much as $60. And quite honestly, before I even reveal it to you, this vehicle is not worth $60. It is a Class 2. It is very small for the vehicle, and it's way out of scale to the 3.75-inch figure. But for those of you who are a fan of this character as well as his ship, you probably want this for your collection. And what I'm talking about is this: Star Wars: The Force Awakens Slave 1 with Boba Fett. This is really cool because they're both packaged together. Really awesome artwork on the front box, as you can see. Slave 1 is a fire spray class patrol ship, and it functions very uniquely. It just kind of lands on its thrusters, and when it takes off, the ship reorients itself into a vertical position for flight. And lengthwise, this ship is basically the same length as the Millennium Falcon in real life scale, where the Falcon is about 150% wider than Slave 1. But this is a heavily armed ship. Boba Fett has heavily modified it for bounty hunting purposes, and I tell you, it's just an iconic vehicle and something I've never owned, and that's why I really wanted this when I saw it. On the side is some great artwork of Boba Fett. On the rear are your obligatory product shots that say, "Buy me." Yes, friends. So, yes, Mike bought it. So, what you see today is what I'm going to be seeing for the first time because I haven't opened this package. So, let's get right to it. This ship is really small to be Slave 1. And you're going to see that. And it might turn you off from buying it. But in all honesty, the original trilogy collection, Slave 1, looks authentic. Carbon scoring all over the ship, chip paint, detailed areas of the flight control surfaces, that sort of thing. So it's a really cool one, and to me, it's probably worth $130 that it's averaging for on eBay. I've seen it for more. I wouldn't go above 120, 130 bucks for that thing. I've been told by another collector that the Attack of the Clones version of Slave 1 that comes boxed, I think, with a Jedi Starfighter, Obi-Wan's fighter, I think to be exact, is pretty close to scale. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it up close. Haven't watched a video review on it. But you're seeing this one here for the first time today. Now, as far as Boba Fett, this is the figure that you get. And you can see Boba Fett is pretty detailed himself, but his jetpack is lacking in the paint department. And at that point, it's time to break out the Humbrol or the testers, whatever you prefer to use. But Boba Fett is just a unique character, and I'm going to be honest with you. I think the majority of Star Wars fans prefer Boba Fett over anyone else. And you can just see here that his jetpack has a simple peg that pegs into his back, and there's Boba Fett. You may be wondering why I don't have the camera turned so that it's just showing the product versus seeing me, and that is because it is constantly focusing in and out, and I just didn't think that would be cool for everyone trying to watch this review. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you prefer to see that. And his rifle is made out of really soft soft rubber, so it's not the easiest thing to maneuver his hand into position, but pretty much like that. Yeah, there we go. So there's Boba Fett, and I currently don't have a Boba Fett figure, so that's another reason why I wanted the figure. Now I'll tell you something else. If you can see this, if you look very closely, his boots actually have the spikes on them that are on his actual boots. So that's pretty cool. That's a cool feature to have on the figure. Wow, I wasn't expecting this. So here's what the inside of the packaging looks like, and the ship is divided into a couple of different pieces. A bag of parts and trilingual instructions that we all enjoy reading here in the United States of America. Not to offend anyone in a foreign country, it's just, you know, one of those things. So this is the base, main part of the ship, and you'll see the paint apps. Looks like it was just painted at the factory. Here's the actual fuselage of the ship. And I'm seeing now this is going to be a pretty straightforward assembly, but since I'm doing a video review, I'm going to be cool about it and look at the instructions, which tell me just what I already knew. Base, top assembly, snaps into place like that. Your wing sections plug in two ways. See, they have these pegs. Well, there's two holes. Large one on the bottom, small one on the top. And they plug in just like that. And that's what the ship looks like when it's in flight mode. And pivot the wings down when it lands, and it sits like this. Kind of looks like a iron almost. If you look at the side where the wing struts are, there's actually some decent detailing there that I haven't seen up close. And if you look at this, this is some of the wiring and stuff that's been painted, and there's plenty more opportunity there for customizing. On the bottom of the support strut, the cannons fit like this. Snap in, and then they angle down. So when the ship is flying, that's how its guns look. There you go. And you know, looking at the base of it, you know, you have the two primary ion engines here and all the mechanical features on the base of the ship, and this just begs to be painted because it's bare. But it is really cool because it is Slave 1 nonetheless. And there are a few decals which, when you open the canopy, are applied right in here on the flight control for Slave 1. This is a torpedo which plugs in here into that port there. There's a button back here on the back that you press right here, fire the torpedo. And that's really the only gimmick to this ship. Now the larger scale Slave ones have panels that remove on the side and the ramp that comes down, and they come with the Han Solo and carbonite to push into the vehicle. But if I take Boba Fett and stand him beside Slave 1 or in front of it, that's not very large, is it? So that's way smaller than the 3.75 inch vehicle. This vehicle should be like, you know, way larger than this, 5 or 6 times bigger than what this is. But I'm not going to complain because I've never had one of these, and it's just cool to me to actually have one. So for those of you guys, you know, that collect Boba Fett toys and collectibles, possibly those of you who collect Jango Fett toys, you may want to pick this up. At Walmart, it was $29.99. Now, coincidentally, this can't be found, as of yet anyway, on Walmart.com. I haven't looked for it in the last few days, but all last week I was searching online for this thing and nobody showed it. Walmart, Kmart, Toys R Us, you name it. The only place I saw this thing was eBay, and of course on some of the buy sell trade sites for Star Wars that are listed on Facebook. So waiting around for more of these to go on the shelf at Walmart would probably be the wiser decision. If it's a case where you have to drive out of town like I did, should you find someone on one of the buy sell trade sites or even eBay and you could get it for say $45 with shipping, it would be worth it, because you know you're spending the cost of gas and hunting the thing down to pay for it. But it's just a really cool looking ship. I love the design of it, and I really like Boba Fett. I don't care for the way George Lucas went back and changed Boba Fett's voice in The Empire Strikes Back and that sort of thing. I really like Jeremy Bulloch as the original actor, and I like the original voice actors. Same with Return of the Jedi. At the end of the scene where Anakin's Force ghost is beside Obi-Wan and Yoda, I just feel like the older Anakin is the appropriate one to have. Those are just some changes that, in my opinion, shouldn't have been made. And you know, Boba Fett is just such an iconic character. I mean, and throughout the expanded universe, we see him in a light that we don't see him in the films. We actually see the humanity of the man beneath the mask, and this ship represents as much of his personality as anything. And to me, that's why it's so unique and so desirable to have one, because when you see this, you know who's coming for you, and there's no escape. If Boba Fett is on your trail, Boba Fett is going to capture you or kill you. So I find this really cool. And one of the cool things that I really like about Boba in the expanded universe is that he actually teaches Jaina Solo how to fight with a lightsaber. And to my knowledge, he's not force sensitive at all, but yet we have this iconic bounty hunter teaching a Jedi how to use their own weapon to defeat her brother who's fallen to the dark side. I just found that really awesome. So if you guys are into Boba Fett, if you're into Slave 1, you just want to pick it up for yourself, your kids, whoever, it's still a great toy to have, still a great ship. Yes, it's out of scale, but hey, you know, who's to say, you know, you won't go out and buy the other one. You know, some of you may already have the other ones that I mentioned. I intend to buy the original trilogy collection, Slave 1, because of the paint apps, the way it looks, and just the fact that it is a larger vehicle. But for now, I'm not going to argue about this being in my collection. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the Star Wars The Force Awakens Boba Fett with Slave 1 Class 2 vehicle. Have a great day.